Hello, everybody, and welcome to a brand new, fresh episode of Dodgers Territory on this lovely Wednesday afternoon. A little bit of a different day today, but still the same good time. Clint, Pasillas, Alanna, Rizzo with you guys for the course of the next hour. Thanks for being here. We love it. Please rate us 5 stars, subscribe, YouTube, wherever you get your podcast. We appreciate your support very much. Make sure you get in on the conversation. Load up your questions in the chat. Clint's very good about checking that type of stuff out. I just realized we had a chat about 2 episodes ago. So, all right,
very proud of you.
now. Time now to get into the big ticket. How much of a beast is Shohei Ohtani playing with one arm, a torn labrum?
You know what? Shohei is a pretty special character. I don't know how badly damaged that was, and I doubt we will ever know how badly damaged that shoulder was, but Dodgers do what they do best, and that's withhold information to people to undersell an injury. But yeah, Shohei Ohtani yesterday undergoes the knife surgery to repair a labrum injury. Of course, that injury suffered during Game 2 of the World Series, where he tried to steal a base and jam that shoulder a good little bit. Was more than just a subluxation. But are you worried about something like this? Is this something where, I mean, they say he should be ready, he should be back for spring training. Does this give you concern, and could this be something that affects the power long term?
My only concern is it's the same surgery that Cody Bellinger had after the 2020 World Series. Remember when he and Kike had that celebration and they kind of he pushed his shoulder out of its socket. And I don't feel like Belly has been the same since that time. I think a lot of it with Belly was obviously physically trying to get back to where he wanted to be. But then again, after that, I thought a lot of it was mental with Belly too, kind of more in between the ears. And hopefully he's going to be okay, obviously back with the Cubs for next season. But hopefully, because Belly was okay with it, he was in the opening day lineup, of course, the next season. I'm confident that Shohei will be okay. There's nobody better to do it than Dr. Neil Elitrosh, who I swear to God has operated on every single arm in the history of time when it comes to professional athletes. So you certainly don't want Shohei to get hurt, but I'm glad they were able to take care of it right away. And, I just hope that he's, the good thing is he doesn't have to play in the outfield like Belly did.
Fair point.
He's not throwing, all the way from the outfield to the infield, but he does have to pitch. I mean, it's not his pitching arm, but I'm thankful that he's going to be okay.
Yeah, that's the big factor there. It's not the pitching arm, and it's also not his lead shoulder. With Cody Bellinger, it was the right shoulder, so it didn't affect Bellinger's throwing as a lefty in the outfield, but it definitely, without that lead arm, that's your kind of pull arm, that's your attack and fire arm if you are a left-handed batter. So for Shohei, the fact that we saw him still playing in the World Series and hitting the ball very hard when he made square contact, it wasn't so much in his head, wasn't chasing. I feel pretty confident that this should be relatively minor. He has big-time grown-up power as opposed to somebody like Cody Bellinger. He had to kind of run into one even through his MVP season. He definitely had to have a lot of moving pieces, fire, and have that barrel of the bat find the right spot at the right time. Shohei Ohtani, again, he's got grown-up power. He could easily send that baseball halfway up the bleachers. Now instead, if it's just over, if they're wall scrapers or something like that, I think we'll be okay. But I'm not worried about Shohei. It doesn't affect the pitching, shouldn't affect the power too much. He should be full go by spring training. Fingers crossed.
It just reminds me how tough these guys are. I mean, that's got to hurt. And you could tell that he was in some pain. He's holding the jersey, obviously, so the shoulder doesn't jostle. Not only him, though, but Freddie Freeman, who obviously was just on Jimmy Kimmel the other day. I mean, this guy's playing with a rib that's all messed up. His foot's all messed up, all these different things. You can tell how much their teammates mean to them. Obviously, being in the lineup, how much that means to them. And obviously how much it means for them to win a World Series. So get all of the offseason surgery that you need. Clayton Kershaw, who also was playing with a bunch of stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, I know he wasn't on the World Series roster, but going through a bunch of junk. He's coming back. So get fixed and get better, and let's run this thing back. All right.
By the way, though, Kershaw, another one undergoing the knife today. It's supposed to be a knee thing, supposed to be the foot thing. I think he had the meniscus surgery, so that was scheduled for today. So if that is Dr. Neil Elytrast, which it should be, Dr. Neil putting in that overtime this offseason as we full well expected.
Yeah, that guy's got some cash, if you will, Dr. Neil Elytrast. This is my favorite thing in the world, Nostra Dumbass.
Let's spin forward, guys. That's how you hype up a segment right there. Let's go.
This is so great. Let's go. All right. So what we're going to do here, and I want to make sure everybody understands, this is purely speculative. Okay. We're going to put on our GM caps. Obviously, the GM meetings are happening right now. So putting on our GM cap and saying, hey, who are potentially 5 Dodgers that you will not see in a Dodger uniform next season, whether it's via trade or they leave in free agency or what have you. Clint, I'm going to defer to you. You go first. Who are your 5 and why?
Yeah, and we understand this could upset people. This is just having a conversation. It's the off season. We want to do more things. It's conversational. So you guys jump into the comments as well. Who do you think will not be back next season for this team? We'll get the easy ones out of the way. Jack Flaherty will not be back with the Dodgers next year. I just don't think they need another right-handed pitcher. And if they are going to bring another right-handed pitcher, it's got to be somebody who is top of the rotation. A little bit of unevenness with Jack Flaherty. Now, if he takes a reasonable deal, or if he's not trying to maximize his whatever his potential earnings are this offseason, maybe he returns. I do not think he will be back. Another guy who I do not think will be back is Joe Kelly. I think there's an opportunity there to get another younger fireball type of reliever. We know Dave Roberts told Mookie Betts on the off-base podcast or on-base podcast that he would like another reliever. He wants Blake Trinan back. He wants another kind of high leverage reliever. I don't think Joe Kelly's that guy anymore. So Joe Kelly not back. This next one pains me a little bit. I do not think we see Walker Buehler returning, just because there's going to be a lot of teams who really want this dude. I don't know that the Dodgers are willing to go beyond a year. Maybe some of the Roki Sasaki conversation or rumors and all that, maybe that affects it a little bit. But if he does leave, he's going out on an all-time high as a Dodger. But I think the fact that he can maybe still go out and get himself a 2 or 3 year deal somewhere is more than the Dodgers will be willing to go. He could look nice in a Mets uniform. He could look nice in a Yankees uniform. We already saw what he can do in the postseason at Yankee Stadium as well. Now let's get to the fun ones. Diego Cartaya, if there's any offseason where they're going to trade him, and I understand he wasn't on the team, but he's on the 40-man roster, so you guys can argue all you want. Maybe this is cheating a little bit here. Diego Cartaya will not be a Dodger because the Dodgers have a lot of issues when it comes to their 40-man roster space. It's part of the reason some people think that Clayton Kershaw declined his option for next year, just to kind of give them a little bit of roster breathing room. So, again, we're playing Nostra Dumbass here. We're having some speculation. We're having some fun. But I can see Cartaya being part of a bigger trade along with my other guy, my 5th guy. And I will preface this by saying this is not me crapping on the kid. People who've watched me for years understand. I hope they understand. I want him to do well. But I don't think Gavin Lux fits the roster, the future of the roster, into 2025. So we could see something where Cartaya, where Gavin Lux are part of a deal to maybe go out and get somebody like a Garrett Crochet. We're talking mega blockbuster. Just those 2 guys aren't going to get it done. But you mix in a couple of pitchers. The Dodgers still have a lot of pitching help, pitching depth in the lower parts of the minor leagues. And breaking news, the White Sox are god-awful terrible. So they can use an adult. They can use a catcher, a franchise catcher for the now and the future, and some pitching help. So, Gavin being limited to second base, I think just makes it tough to see him on this roster next season. But there's my 5. There's your Flaherty, your Kelly, your Buehler, Cartaya, and Gavin Lux.
You're not that far off from where I am. I have a couple of things. And again, pets' heads are going to fall off, and I understand why, but hear me out for half a second on this. Okay. I am not in, nor will I ever be in, on spending 500 or north of 500 million for Juan Soto. To me, he is a one-sided player. Great guy offensively, for sure. Obviously, postseason player, big game player when it comes to that. I do not want him in my outfield. I think he's a defensive liability. And he doesn't pitch. Okay. So I'm not spending $500 million on Juan Soto. What I will do, though, is take that type of money and go and get Nolan Arenado. Okay. Not to give Nolan Arenado $500 million. That's not what I'm suggesting. But what I'm saying is, if you're going to spend, you need to get a solid guy that can give you production at the plate. I know he had a bit of a down year this year, but get some solid production at the plate. And in doing so, hear me out on this. You trade Max Muncy, Tommy Edman at a high price, okay? At a high price for Edman, okay? No. I don't think he's going back to the Cardinals. So you have to have a 3-team deal here, okay? So Muncy and Edman are packaged somewhere, okay? I'm not exactly sure where that's going to be. But I think if you can get a high price, and again, I love Max Muncy. I wish we had an 80-man roster. But the point is, I'm just trying to see, like, where are we going to find the biggest value? I would take a platinum glove at third base and a guy that's going to give you some decent offensive numbers, but I'm not going to sell Edman for cheap, okay? So I'm thinking Muncy and Edman perhaps, okay, as far as that is concerned. I think we have too many guys, we have too many infielders. So do I think Taylor's going to be back? Yes, because he's under contract for another, a couple of years. And I think Taylor's going to have a rebound year. I think you look at what he's been able to do. If you look at, let's say guys are in the big leagues for 10 seasons. 3 seasons they're going to play above their skis. 3 seasons they're going to be about average. 3 seasons are going to be, kind of below, and one's kind of a throwout year. All right. So I think Taylor's going to have a rebound year. They already picked up the option on Rojas, so Rojas is coming back. I would love it if Kike came back just for October. I've said that 1,000 times. Donnie boy, Alanna's going off on her bad takes. Oh, save it. And so I'm thinking, like, just a bigger picture. She's drunk. I love the comments. People are so mean.
To be fair, I was also mean to you before the show.
You were. You're totally mean to me, but that's fine. And the only reason I don't think Buehler is coming back is because the Dodgers, they offered him the qualifying offer of 21.05.
They didn't offer Buehler. They did not.
I'm sorry.
Teoscar.
Because I think if he would have taken it, they think that that's probably too high for him on an AAV. And Buehler's going to want a long-term, like, he's going to want a multi-year deal, right? But the Dodgers could sign him at 3 years, 30, and give him 10 a year or whatever it is. So I think that he's going to get some serious cash, but I do think Buehler wants to be in LA. That's the thing too. Sometimes I think guys will take a little bit less to play in LA. Okay.
Yeah.
So Flaherty, I don't think is coming back because we don't need him. No disrespect. We don't need him. We have Glasnow, Yamamoto, Kershaw, hopefully,
well, beyond that,
May,
beyond that, yeah, that's the thing. There's a lot of like question marks, but there's still options in the Dodgers, like starting rotation depth.
And I'm putting Dustin May in the bullpen.
I love that. That's one I absolutely love. Guys, we can all agree on that one, right? Dustin May to the bullpen. He is born to be a reliever. As long as he learns how to chew his food thoroughly, he could really do some damage there in the back end of a bullpen. So a couple things we agree on. That is Buehler, Flaherty. The Muncy one, let's dive into these. And obviously, people, let's set the scene here where, again, this is trying to maybe build for the future a little bit as well. You're building for the now, you're building for next season, you're trying to run it back. At the same time, you're also looking 3-4 years down the road. Understandably, Nolan Arenado, I've long time wanted Nolan home here in LA. He's belonged.
He would love to be. He would love to be in LA.
I mean, if he loved to, he wouldn't have taken a few of those deals that he, received in his career, that he agreed to in his career. He is coming off of like the worst year of his career, if it's worth anything to throw that
Well,
out there.
the Cardinals were also horrific,
Yeah.
and I have to say, I mean, what is he? He's 34. He has 3 years left on his contract. So maybe you package a deal with Edmund, Muncy, and somebody else and get Nolan. And by the way, we need a like a shortstop for the future too. Who's going to be our shortstop for the future?
Yeah, that's really an important question right there. And we have, obviously, we're going to be around all offseason, guys. Next week, tube in for our kind of wish list. We don't know the date we're going to do that, but we are going to have our offseason wish list dropping. Shocker, I don't think either of us are necessarily super high on the idea of Juan Soto being on that wish list, but you need a shortstop. And whether that is a Willy Adames, who has been linked to this team, whether they run with Tommy Edman for another year, Miguel Rojas is under contract for one more year. You need to worry about 26, 27, and beyond at the shortstop position. I love the idea of a Willy Adames. You don't spend Soto money. You get Willy Adames, and you're able to get more. Maybe you piece together a Blake Snell or a Max Fried, another guy who would probably love to be in LA as well. But you make that money work, and then this is where you get these chances with the Muncy or more so a Lux trade. I don't think the team trades Max Muncy. I think he's too important to the clubhouse culture. I think he's under an extremely team-friendly deal. And like he told the boys on Foul Territory yesterday or whenever it was, he's also like put a lot of work in on his defense at third base. So he knows he's never going to win a Gold Glove because there's an Arenado, there's a Matt Chapman, there are some other elite third basemen in the league. But you saw him in the World Series. He looked a lot better than Muncy of old at the position. I think the money, the fact that he understands his role for this club, like hitting lower in the lineup, keeping the line moving. That's where I'm at. I don't think the Dodgers necessarily need to add another, number 3 hitter, another cleanup hitter. At least that's my opinion on it. If you want to poke holes in my Gavin Lux side of the idea, as part of a Garrett Crochet trade, feel free. I saw somebody say in the chat, like why would the White Sox want Gavin Lux? I mean, when he was healthy, when he was right, he had a phenomenal year this year. For a stretch, he plays really good second base as well. I think he is somebody who brings an adult-ish to the White Sox, and the Dodgers need another frontline starter because you mentioned it's Shohei, it's Yamamoto, and it's Glasnow, and all three of those guys have question marks.
Yeah, but not enough to go. I just think that. I mean, okay, so who's your frontline starter?
Well, you add Crochet in that trade idea, and I understand it's very highly unlikely that move happens. But today, or at the GM meetings, the White Sox said they're open to conversations. This is me paraphrasing, but they're open to conversations when it comes to a Garrett Crochet trade. If the right deal happens to fall in front of their face, it will be there, or they will be willing to have those kind of trade discussions. There's the words I'm looking for. Is that likely to happen? Again, no. I think the Dodgers might be more interested or more able to explore the free agent market, whether that's a Blake Snell, again, the Max Fried angle. There are some options out there. Mike Lopez in the chat talking about the priority being Roki Sasaki. The problem with Sasaki, of course, is you have to
come with a massive price tag.
Well, no, because he's not eligible for the full posting thing. We talked about it on my channel last night. Check it out if you guys missed it. Hit that subscribe button over there while you're subscribing here as well. But he would be kind of the same way Shohei Ohtani came to the States, where because he's younger than 25 and doesn't have 6 years of service time in MPB, he's going to be like dirt cheap. The Dodgers can go get it. It's more so for the Chipalote Marines to post him. If they post him, he's going to be a Dodger or he's going to be a Dodger. A Padre. That was Freudian slip. He's going to be a Dodger or he's going to be a Padre there. But that's kind of like one of those dudes that's at the top of the food chain, I would say, for the Dodgers. But all right.
Scott, so we both agree Flaherty's gone.
Yeah.
Okay, and we both agree I don't think Walker's gone. I think Walker comes back. I mean,
That's
I
the
know I
one.
said that I know that I said that he could be one of the five, but deep down, I really don't think Walker's going anywhere. I think they'll figure out a way to, give him a deal that they can both deal with, I guess.
Yeah,
Because I think he
I
really wants to play in LA.
I think that's the big thing right there. He really wants to play in LA. I think he wants at least one more season to pitch alongside Clayton Kershaw. I mean, you saw them loving on each other at the parade. Sure, there were a few drinks mixed in there as well, but them boys haven't been able to pitch together really since 2020. Because 21, there was different injuries for the both of them. 22, Walker has a surgery, misses all of 23. They're kind of two ships passing in the night at different points this season. They won't be the 1 and 2 that they used to be, but to have them be the 4 and 5 together or the 5 and
But
6
you could
together.
have, if Shohei and Yamamoto can be your 1 and 2, I'm not asking for
Yeah.
Clayton Kershaw to be an ace anymore. I saw
No.
somebody on here that says I'm crazy because I think that no, I didn't say that he was going to be the ace of the staff. He's a good at, where he's at in his career. By the way, next stop Cooperstown. He's
Oh
a
yeah.
good 4 or 5. He doesn't need to
Yeah.
be. So, I mean, you could have Shohei, you could have Yamamoto, you could have Bueller, you could have, Kirsch and Glasnow and then Kirsch, and
Yeah.
move Dustin May and Tony Gonsolin to the bullpen.
The thing that scares me with a lot of those names, though, think of Ohtani. Has not pitched since 23. Did not finish that season healthy. Has not often finished seasons healthy when he's a two-way player. Glasnow, unavailable in September. Yamamoto, shoulder fell off for 3 months during the season, so there's a lot of
I
question
know.
marks.
That's what I was
Yeah.
telling you the whole time. That's what
Yeah.
I told you the whole time.
I
And
know.
he ended
Oh,
up
I
he
bought
ended up
in
pitching,
on that.
he ended up pitching really well. So I mean, you can't base it off of this. Yes, there's a track record. Obviously, there has been, but assuming that they're going to be healthy for the most part, that's why I don't think you need a Flaherty. I don't know. It's tough. That's why I'm not a GM. I would be terrible at this. I would be absolutely terrible at this. But I think we have too many. Like, there's too many like Hernandez, Taylor, Luxes, Rojas people. We have too many
Yeah, I understand that.
infielders. So it's like, all right, what? I think Nolan Arenado would be a good get. I mean, not to say that Max hasn't certainly shored up his defense. He was good in the postseason. Obviously, he's a good hitter too. So we're just speculating, people. Nobody
Yeah, this is
we're not signing the contracts and sending these people away. These are things that could potentially happen. But I agree with you. I think Gavin is a tradable piece also.
Yeah, that's the one. I mean, I do feel strongly about that. And again, it has nothing to do with Gavin as a player, as a person. I just think the limitation to second base, where the organization really does want to move Mookie Betts there in the long term. I think Mookie would love to play second base in the long term. And, if they're going to bring back Teoscar Hernandez, if Andy Pages is going to play a part in the outfield next year, if they do decide to somehow, pony up a lot of money for Juan Soto, he's going to need a spot to play. So as important as Mookie back in the outfield was, I don't know that that's his long-term future. Obviously, none of us know. We are not Andrew Friedman. We are not Brandon Gomes. We're not this organization think tank. However, reading some tea leaves, kind of thinking on this with our good brains, mostly sometimes good brains, not always for you and I. This is like I think this is going to be a seismic kind of offseason where we do see a blockbuster, and it's like, oh wow, that I didn't see that one coming. That's kind of where I'm at with this offseason.
So let's go around the diamond really quick. We only have like 7 more minutes in our show, but let's go around the diamond. Like, your opening day lineup for the Los Angeles Dodgers. Who is it? Go. We'll start. Who's your ace? All right, Shohei. Let's assume that Shohei's arm is perfect. And
lineup or rotation? Because we're talking rotation, yeah.
No. We're doing lineup. We're doing the lineup.
Oh,
so
Shohei, go. I forgot he could also hit. Shohei Ohtani, Mookie Betts, Freddie Freeman. Beyond that, I need to see Teo back. Willie Adames. I decided I'm in on Willie Adames. Max Muncy. Where are we at? Will Smith, obviously playing catcher. Tommy Edman in center field.
Okay.
How many players am I at right now? Who am I missing?
I think you need a left fielder.
Do I need a left fielder? Or a second
I'm assuming
baseman?
I'm assuming you have Mookie and Wright.
Yeah. I guess Chris Taylor. Kike Hernandez. F it. Going Kike.
Okay. You're going Kike over Chris. Okay.
Yes. Put on the spot there. I had to think about the roster. We haven't thought that far ahead yet. Of course. But again, guys, just be ready for a very, I wouldn't say very different looking team in 2025, but I think it's safe to say that all of the pieces that were there are not going to be there. You know, we should have just cheated and said that Kevin Kiermaier and Dan Hudson aren't going to be there.
We both would have said that, and we both would have been right, only because they decided to retire. But yes.
All right.
Would you rather have Willie Adames, or would you rather have Corbin Burns?
Why not both? I mean, they both fill different needs. Corbin Burns, I think, is going to be priced out of, the ballpark for the Dodgers.
Oh, please, we're the Dodgers. They can spend whatever they want.
This is fair, but what this team loves to do is thinking about down the road. They love to think about 2028, 2032, all that kind of stuff. And, to have the same reason I don't think they signed Soto, mainly because of the money. And we're talking about like 13 years and $650 million or whatever it may be. That's my prediction for Soto. That's a lot of commitment to a few dudes with Soto, with Shohei, with Yamamoto. On the other hand, you also need to think 3-4 years down the road, and with Juan Soto, you're looking at the modern day Barry Bonds, save this for the steroids. The problem is Juan Soto's not on steroids, so he's not going to be good into his late 30s and 40s like old Barry was. So take with that what you will.
Iris Sama, I'm probably butchering that name. I apologize. Do you need your esophagus to pitch?
Asking for a friend.
Asking for a friend by the name of Dustin May. All right, let's get into last licks.
Let's do it.
All right, everybody, let me introduce you to Chloe. She is a 10-year-old lab mix. She is a sweet girl. She gets along with other dogs. She does not like yappy dogs in her face, though. So if you have a lot of, like a little Chihuahua or a little terrier or a Yorkie, that's all up in her business. She's not going to like that, but she's good with bigger dogs, mellow dogs. She just loves to chill. She's very calm. She's just a senior gal that's looking for a home. Please reach out and see if you're interested in fostering her or adopting her. She's a sweet girl. We'd certainly appreciate your help with Miss Chloe. All right. So I don't know if you saw this. I'm sure you did, Clint. There it is. Thank you. So this person decided to get some ink. Obviously, this is Freddie Freeman's Grand Slam. Obviously, you can see who was at the plate, who was on first, second, and third, where the ball went. She is gone, the whole deal. So I ask you this, my friend. I don't have any tattoos, and I believe that you do not either. No. What is the craziest thing that would have to happen in order for you to get something permanently tattooed on you?
Oh, man. I mean, that just sounds like drunk bet territory. Which sounds like another show that they should add to our family of shows here. Drunk Bet Territory, part of the Foul Territory Network. Yeah, you need to come up with something really stupid, I think, for me to get myself a tattoo. Like, if this happens, if the Dodgers go and run it back, I'll get Mookie's name tattooed on my ass or something like that. I don't know. I probably wouldn't get something like that on my arm. As I say that, I love that tattoo though. That gives like the whole.
I do like the tattoo. It's very cool. Yeah. I did say I would shave my head if the Dodgers lost 4 in a row. That's how confident I was that they were not going to lose 4 in a row. Because I did want to keep my hair, and I did. I would never get a tattoo. I mean, unless it was like, I had a child and something happened. I'm not a tattoo person. There's nothing that I want on me forever. That just like, I used to think when I was in college, I was like, I'm going to get a University of Colorado, like Ralphie, thank God I didn't, like your life changes, like things happen. So, there's nothing that you would do that would.
Yeah, I mean, I don't care. I don't need to necessarily make the bold statements or whatever. Again, I could just see it being, drunk at 3 a.m. around the campfire with the boys, and you say something really stupid, and then somebody recorded it and reminds you, oh, by the way, you said this, so if X happens, then you got to go and do this tattoo. But even so, I'd probably cop out on that one.
Yeah, I would definitely go back on my word on that. All right, so thanks for listening to us and our hysterics of who we would trade and who we would not trade. Appreciate you guys, and also we want to know what you think. What would be your absolute trade that you'd like to see go down? We're going to be doing a segment coming up next week. By the way, we're back on Monday at 1 p.m. or 12 p.m. Pacific, 3 p.m. Eastern, and then let's see. Tomorrow we have fair territory and foul territory. So all the territories. All right. Thanks for being with us. Don't forget to like, subscribe, all the things. Thanks for being here. We will talk to you later. Go Dodgers.
Okay, bye.